Okay, I'll tell you a story. In the DR, we have a lot of blackouts. They still do. My mom texted me about it. Like, oh, it's been 6 hours without electricity. So often, you don't have gas for a power plant, so you're just stuck without electricity. What I did often, since I was 14, was just grab my guitar and play. I didn't have a teacher, so I played stuff for hours. So the same thing over and over, just practicing finger movements. Or oh, I learned a song, and just play that song. An acoustic guitar, no electricity, right? So you didn't have any effects. There was no computers, no mixing. I was 14. And yeah, from there, I just started gravitating towards bands, towards production, towards sound design, and that got me to ambient eventually. I think ambient can be as simple or complex as you want it to be. You're not anchored to a meaning or to a symbol. You have to give meaning to it yourself, because there are no words, there's no story. You make the story, and I love that about ambient music. The fact that it's a soundtrack to what you're doing at the moment, and when it's live, I think it's great. Because in a recording, of course, you put your headset on, you'll love it, but if you are in the space and it's hitting your body, it's different. There's a therapeutic element to making music. To me, come home on a chill day like a Sunday morning, connect my stuff and just drone on one note, one melody, one progression for 20 minutes, and that's my meditation of the day. I'll probably make music until I die, I think. Even if I'm not playing or sharing it with anyone. But with the internet, it's impossible not to share. There has to be a way for you to share your art in some way.